What is up, guys? Welcome into yet another edition of Benstant Reaction, a spinoff of the Ben Garcia Show. We react to a game, a big trade, breaking news anywhere in the Arizona sports landscape. You know that I am covering it, giving you my authentic and honest reaction to it. You know, I got to be honest with you guys. Now that you know we're talking about Arizona State falling in the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl, losing to Texas in this game, I got to be honest with you guys. I wanted to immediately jump right on the microphone as soon as this game ended. However, that's just not how the circumstances landed today. Normally, I can do that. Today, there wasn't the possibility of me doing that, so you guys are kind of getting this reaction a little bit later. But I got to be honest with you. The reason why I tend to do these reactions immediately after the game, even though it takes a little bit of time for me to get up, because I am the producer, writer, social media guy for the Ben Garcia Show. When I say we, it is always just me. But usually I want to get on there right away because I want to give you my raw, authentic, I don't want to plan for it reaction. I think planning for a post-game show is inauthentic. And the way that I've built my base has been completely through authenticity. The reasoning why my subscriber count, I believe, is growing, my view count, everything that I'm doing here at the Ben Garcia Show is because of you guys. You guys have bought into my authenticity and my honest takes to what is going on in the Arizona sports landscape. So here's what I saw today with ASU and the Texas Longhorns. I got to be honest with you. I came into this game like a lot of you. I understand that we lean on the fandom a lot. Not necessarily me, but a lot of people here in Arizona. There's nothing wrong with that. My job is to be the expert and give you my honest reaction and to not fanboy it up. There's other shows, there's other channels that will do that. You're not going to get that from me. I'll give you my honest reaction so that when you'll know how good I believe this team is or how bad I think they are. But there was a lot of fandom going on. But I knew and a lot of fans kind of saying that ASU can win this game. And I let fans talk. They're allowed to do that. Emote, have fun. Your team's in the college football playoff. But I got to be honest with you. Just like every fan in their heart of heart knew that Texas would win this game, I think every fan in their heart of hearts also knew or also thought that Texas was going to dominate this team. It was a horrendous matchup. Texas has the best defense in college football. I'm not sure how particularly close it is. Maybe Penn State kind of rivals them. We know that they were the number one rushing defense, but the best defense, talent-wise, statistically, is the Texas Longhorns, and they play in the SEC. So triple whammy in that point. And so I went into this expecting the same thing. I was not going to hammer ASU. ASU could have lost by 70. I was never going to hammer them because they have completely overachieved this season to where truly I'm not really this guy. I was just kind of happy that they've been there. I guess I should have said this from the beginning, but I'm a proud ASU graduate. I don't think I've ever used the word proud in front of ASU graduate before until this game. ASU, I tweeted out earlier in this game, Texas better not let ASU hang around. Because what ASU is just a bunch of guys who don't know how good they are yet. And Kenny Dillingham, I think, is the only one that sees how good this college football program can be. And what happened in this game was exactly that. Texas, you saw as the game grew longer, they got tighter. Listen, you talk about the statistics in this game, especially the team statistics. ASU dominated Texas statistically. However, that's not how we decide games. ASU nearly doubled them in first downs, was better than them on third down, had 510 total yards to Texas's 375 total yards, completed more passes, rushed the ball better, 214 rushing yards to 53 rushing yards, 4.4 yards per carry, had less penalties, and nearly doubled the opposing team, that being Texas's time of possession. ASU dominated this game. The only issue is they couldn't score in the red zone when they needed to because that Texas defense, they had the ability to stop ASU. There is some, and even me a little bit, play calling things that I would talk about that maybe I wouldn't do if I was Kenny Dillingham. But hey, ASU is very similar to the Detroit Lions 2 years ago, or I would even say last year when they went to the NFC Conference Championship game. Their motto was no risk it, no biscuit. We're going for it every time. Our identity is we will not back down. And you might think what we're going to do is crazy, like doing a fake punt on your own side of the field in the college football playoff, but that's just what we do. And credit to Kenny Dillingham. He is the Dan Campbell of college football at this point. Kenny Dillingham has transformed a team to where I don't know how good of a signal caller he is. I don't know how good of an X's and O's head coach he is. But man, does he instill belief in players. And that's what Dan Campbell does. And I think that even works better in a college football landscape. Because it's not so much about X's and O's. It's recruiting talent and get the most out of your talent. Installing belief in your talent. And Kenny Dillingham, just like Dan Campbell, came in 2 years ago and installed that belief in this team. Or instilled that belief in this team. They have completely came in and transformed what this program was. I've heard my entire life ASU's a sleeping giant. And I've largely rolled my eyes at that. Kenny Dillingham has transformed it. He has an eye for talent and bringing in coaches that can obviously coach and get the best out of that talent. He's seen guys like Sam Leavitt, brings him in, sees talent like Cam Skattebo, brings him in. That's what Kenny Dillingham does. He is the Dan Campbell of college football coaching. And even today, this game wasn't on Kenny Dillingham. He took the blame, though. He said our players did everything they did to succeed. This game was on me. No, it wasn't. And we all know it wasn't. But it's just class act Kenny Dillingham taking the blame for everything when we know ASU got beat by a team that was more talented and gave Texas all they could handle and nearly handed Texas one of their worst program losses in history. I made a joke on Twitter that I thought Texas was going to fire Steve Sarkisian and go try to hire Kenny Dillingham after the game. That's how much of the mismatch it was. Kenny Dillingham has now entered in the top echelon of head coaches in college football. He's better than Kalen DeBoer at this point, or he's up there with the Kalen DeBoers. He's up there with the Dabo Sweeneys. He's up there with the Steve Sarkisians. He's up there with the Kirby Smarts. I don't know where he ranks in the top 5, but he is one of the most mesmerizing talents that we've seen in coaching. Now let's talk about the guy who the entire national landscape of college football just learned the name of today, or how to say the name correctly, even though I mispronounced it earlier in this game. Cam Skattebo was a wrecking ball. You know, there's this idea that you have to toggle between confidence and cocky in college football. I couldn't care less if you're the most cockiest person in football. I just care that it's not my quarterback. If Sam Leavitt was saying some of the things that Cam Skattebo was saying, I would be a little uneasy about that. I want my quarterback to be calm, cool, collected. And Sam Leavitt today saying, or a couple days ago saying that he was the best quarterback in this game. We know that. ASU fans know that. But you didn't need to say it. So I didn't love that. But overall, what Cam Skattebo did today was nothing short of potentially the best ASU football performance of all time. This guy had a passing touchdown, threw for 42 yards, 143 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and another 99 yards receiving. 99 yards receiving, 143 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns, and then a passing touchdown for 42 yards. Cam Skattebo is the reason why people gravitate to Cam Skattebo is because he's relatable. It doesn't matter what he says. He can be the cockiest guy out there. People are still going to root for Cam Skattebo. And to some extent, I don't blame him that he's got this instilled confidence, or some might see it as cockiness in him. He's a guy that got no Division I offers, basically no real Division I offers. He had to go to Sac State, sacrifice some years of college football experience. He was told no, passed up over, just like all of us, right? All of us have been passed up for a job or passed up for an opportunity we thought we were more fit for than a different candidate. Cam Skattebo was the same way. No real Division I offers. Had to use some years of eligibility at Sacramento State. On he comes into ASU. and instills this belief in him that although teams and players and coaches have continuously doubted him, he has this self-belief that he belongs. And so for that reason, you see a game that happened today. And it's to the point where I know everyone loves Ashton Jeanty, but Cam Skattebo played in higher level of competition, and when push came to shove in the biggest game of the season, showed out. ASU did not lose today because of Cam Skattebo. They nearly won today because of Cam Skattebo. And when you add the 42 yards passing, a touchdown throwing, 143 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and nearly 100 yards receiving, yeah, you can talk your talk. So the relatability to Cam Skattebo is off the charts. He is incredibly fun to root for, and I cannot believe that there are some people out there that think maybe he's not fast enough, maybe he's not tall enough, whatever it is. He doesn't fit your standard NFL mold. Cam Skattebo is a certified football guy. Told no, didn't have real Division I offers, had to give up years of eligibility to go to Sac State, passed up, told no, continued to work hard, and became a national name. Wasn't invited to the Heisman Trophy ceremony, even though he carried ASU on his back for 15 weeks at this point. 14 weeks at this point. Just continue to work. And that's the relatability, and that's the likability of Cam Skattebo. And he won't get picked in the first round. He won't get picked in the second round. But with every waking snap that he took today, he made himself another tens of thousands of dollars. And just really quickly, while I'm ranting about Cam Skattebo, the Cardinals could use that guy. While we're just talking about Arizona news and Arizona sports and all that good stuff, the Arizona Cardinals, if they don't draft Cam Skattebo, even if they have to overdraft him, would be a colossal failure. You have this superstar in your own backyard. I don't care that you already took Trey Benson. I don't care that you just extended James Conner. Every team would take 53 Cam Skattebos if they could. This guy is tough. He fits the mold of what the Cardinals do, smash mouth football. He's been told no before. He's not going to cost a first or second round pick. He works hard. He's the classic guy that you would want on your team. You know he's going to work hard. You know he's been told no before. He hasn't been given everything. Tough, hard-nosed football. Fits exactly what the Arizona Cardinals do, and that being of one Drew Petzing. You know what the Cardinals could use? A guy to back up James Conner for another year when we know James Conner can't make it through a full season. And I don't care if he's not fast enough or he doesn't run the crispest routes. Listen, he gets the ball in his hand. You just can't bring him down. So while we're on that, the Arizona Cardinals, for culture reasons, skill reasons, physical reasons, and the fact that it's not going to cost you a high draft pick, they need to make Cam Skattebo a priority, and I don't care if they have to overdraft him a little bit to make it happen. Lastly, you didn't see it in this game. If you read the stat sheet and you saw 24 for 46, 222 yards, 1 interception, you would say Sam Leavitt was not good today. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Sam Leavitt has the ability to be the best quarterback to ever come out of Arizona State. Better than Jaden Daniels, better than Jake the Snake Plummer. That is where his ceiling is. I mean, you're looking at a guy that in a couple years the Cardinals could be potentially drafting while I bring them back into the mix. But his scrambling ability, his accuracy, his grit, that can't be measured. Some people are just born with it. And the statistics don't light you up, but you just know it when you see it. You can see special. That's not tough to see. It's why it's easy to see a guy like Brock Purdy and be like, yeah, he's good, not special. Or you look at a guy like Kyler and you say, hey, he's athletic, he's got some talent, he's not special. Or you look at a guy from all different angles. Tom Brady didn't have anything. He wasn't physically gifted in any department. Some guys just have it. Sam Leavitt just has it. He kept ASU in this game, where ASU's offensive line couldn't block anyone. It felt like at times it was the longest yard where they're snapping the ball and the opposing team was in the backfield every single time. He has the ability to potentially be the best ASU quarterback this city, this state has ever seen. I mean, that's a franchise quarterback just waiting to happen. Accurate, gritty, moves well, obviously really coachable. Kenny Dillingham loves him. That goes a long ways in the NFL. But you can just see the special. It's why this ASU team is not going anywhere for at minimum the next 2 years, where I guess potentially Sam could go to the draft next year. But next year, ASU's not going anywhere. This year wasn't a all or nothing year. That's what it was for U of A last year. And yeah, I'm picking on U of A a little bit. Everyone was kind of like, oh, the best years are ahead of us for U of A. No, it wasn't. Last year was the year. It's not the same thing for ASU this year. This year wasn't the year to win it all. But next year, add a couple of guys in the transfer portal, bring in some high recruits, bring in the guy in Sam Leavitt to continue to lead this team. And this ASU team, it's cliche, but again, I'm not here to blow smoke. They'll be back. They'll be the Big 12 favorites next year. And at this point, as long as they keep their edge and as long as they keep Sam Leavitt as their leader and he improves off of what he did this season, not only do I think he'll be the best Arizona State quarterback to come out of this school, but I think the sky's the limit for this ASU team. And they will 1,000% be back next season.